This is the hardest return to play against in pickleball. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly how to hit this return. And the best part about it is that all that it takes is 3 specific steps that you have to follow. In this video, we're gonna be talking about the specific technique behind this serve, specific strategies that you wanna be following as the returning team, and we're gonna finish by talking about some practical tips that you can instantly implement that's gonna make playing against this return so difficult for your opponents. So without further ado, let's open the playbook. If you're new here, my name is Coach Austin Hardy. I'm a PPR certified coach. I'm a 5.5 rated player and the founder of pickleballdrallsapp.com. It's an app that has hundreds of different drills that are all specific for your level. And the best part about it is that all these drills are coming from professional pickleball players. They're gonna give you practical tips and strategies as you're out on the court doing the thing that's going to help you play your best pickleball. That is, build that muscle memory as you go out and you do the most effective drills for your specific game. So if you've been struggling to know which drills to do to take your game to the next level, I promise you that you will see real improvement from using the Pickleball Drills app, and you can try it absolutely free. So the technique behind the return of serve. When we're returning a serve, the way that I want you to think about it is like a drive. We're hitting either the two-handed backhand drive, the one-handed backhand drive, or just your typical forehand drive. But it's slightly different because it needs to be more compact than your typical drive. And the reason that it does is because with the return, it's one of the only shots where we are running as we make contact. We're not completely still as we make contact. And if you question that, go watch any pro return the ball. You'll see that they are moving forward as they make contact with the ball, because when you're hitting a return, your entire goal is to get up to the net. And so the very first thing that they're going to be doing is moving forward as they make contact. So breaking down the technique in specific for the return on the forehand and the backhand side is you want to think about doing a drive, but making it more compact. So if we think about a drive, the drive is a C motion that we're creating in the air. We just picture a C that we're drawing, and then we go out and up as we hit that drive. So it's a C, out and up. With a return, it's a condensed C. So it gets shorter and it gets further pushed forward. So this is the big C that we're used to, and this is the condensed C. And that's all that the return is. It's the same exact motion as you would do on your backhand and your forehand side with the drive, but just condensed. We're keeping everything out in front of us as we make contact with the ball. So when I'm returning a serve, I'm in this position, and if it goes to my forehand side, everything stays out in front of me. And so to show you guys a side angle of that, on my return, I'm here, turn, notice my paddle stays out in front of me, down, out, up. And notice when I finish, it finishes out in front of me as well, as I move forward through the actual shot. So it's just this condensed motion. So specifically breaking this motion down, we're going to start with our paddle up and out in front. Notice my paddle tip is pointing up towards the sky. I'm then going to drop it down. This is called petting the dog. We're gonna act like there's a medium-sized dog down here that we're petting with the face of our paddle, the front face that we wanna make contact with. We pet the dog, and then we swing outwards and finish upwards. And all that motion is a windshield wiper. So we've come up, pet the dog down here, pull outwards, windshield wipe upwards. And we just finish right out here, right in front of us. The typical drive, we're like this, boom. With this, it's here. It's that small of a motion. We keep everything out in front. Now let's talk about the backhand side. On the backhand side, it's the same exact thing. I'm keeping everything out in front of me. That's the most important thing that you need to understand. Everything stays out in front. I never let my paddle go behind my shoulder or out of my peripheral vision. Everything stays out here. So I turn, I'm still out in front, pet the dog, out and up. It's that simple of a motion. And notice when I finish here, butt cap of my paddle is pointing towards where I want to go. And I'm not coming way up here, right? It's not this massive follow through motion. It's just right here. And I try to keep it out in front as best as I can. The reason that it's a condensed motion in comparison to the big drive that we have before is because our opponents are already giving us all of the pace that we need on their serve. So the more pace that they give us, the smaller a motion we need. We're just putting all their power back on them. Whereas if they're hitting us a nice little dink, lob serve, or whatever it might be, the bigger a swing we need. So that's where the return can kind of change. But what doesn't change is our load up. Our load up stays out in front. Our follow through might get a little bit bigger dependent on how slow the return is coming. So the slower the return comes, the bigger our follow through. The faster the return comes, the less follow through that we have. But we're still doing that windshield wiper motion as we push outwards and upwards. So tip up, pet the dog, out, up, windshield wipe. Everything stays out in front of us as we move forward to the net. Hey, I wanted to tell you guys about my favorite clothing in pickleball, Viore. I've been wearing Viore for the past 3 years and they are sponsoring this video, which is super cool. I'm currently wearing their Seaside pullover. I love this pullover for winter in specific because it's not only super comfortable and stretchy, but it's also thick. It's gonna keep you warm. I'm also wearing their Sunday Performance jogger and it is their most comfortable jogger yet. It has very stretchy material. I love how it has this little secret hidden zipper right here. I usually will put my phone inside there when I'm training or when I'm coaching out on the court. And of course, I gotta show you guys their Stratotech tee. This is the most comfortable t-shirt. I wear this in literally all of the tournaments that I play in every single time that I'm out on the court, whether that's coaching, training, whatever it might be. I love it because it's super stretchy and it's super light. It's absolutely perfect for playing, especially when you start getting that heart rate up, start getting sweaty. It's really, really nice. And today is cold, so I'm putting back on my Seaside pullover hoodie. So that is Viore. I absolutely love Viore. You guys can get 20% off as a new customer by just plugging in your email. To access that discount, you can simply scan this QR code with your phone camera right here, or by simply just going through the link at the top of the description of this video. Thank you so much to Viore for sponsoring. Now I'm gonna be sharing with you 3 practical tips that if you implement, it's gonna make the return so much easier for you and so much more consistent and make it so much harder for your opponents to actually go against. So just take note that you guys are gonna know how to hit this specific return. Don't let the grass grow beneath your feet. Go out and actually practice it. You have to build that muscle memory. So have someone hitting you serves or have your ball machine hitting you balls and you practicing this specific return. It's gonna absolutely pay off. The first tip that we're gonna be talking about is keeping our motion compact and out in front. So what I like to think about with the return is that I have a beach ball in between my arms here. I'm constantly having that beach ball all the way through contact. And that's why my paddle stays out in front here rather than wrapping around my neck, because now the beach ball is completely flat. I'm keeping that beach ball inflated as I make contact with the ball. So I'm here, beach ball's still inflated, and I finish here. Everything stays out in front. It never goes back here. If it did, the beach ball is flat. The reason that we want to do that is because our opponents are already giving us all of the power that we need. So all that we're doing is putting that power back on them, allowing ourselves time to move forward into the court. And so as you practice your return, focus on that specific beach ball inside your arms as you make contact with the ball. Keep everything really simple, and out in front, it's the same exact thing on the forehand side. Tip up, pet the dog, outwards and upwards. Everything is staying out in front. It's a really small, simple motion. The more compact you keep it, the more consistent and detrimental it's going to be to your opponents. Number 2 with the return, like I said before, the return is one of the only shots where we're actually running as we make contact with the ball. We're not waiting to see like how we maybe would with a drop. With a drop, we're going to hit the drop and be like, is that a little high? A little low? Oh, it looks good. We're going to move forward, or we're going to stay back. With the return, we're literally hitting it and moving forward at the same exact time. We want to gain that real estate, get up to the net, apply pressure on our opponents, take court away from them, give them less opportunities, less spaces to hit to. And so with the return, our entire goal is to get up to the net. We're going to be talking about specific strategies right after these 3 practical tips. And let me just say that these strategies are absolutely pivotal to making your return the hardest return to play against in pickleball. So what that looks like in specific with the footwork, putting it all together. We start with our legs just outside our shoulders. We have a wide stance. Why? Why, you might ask, do we have a wide stance? Because we're way more in control and on balance with a wide stance. We can also get to our destination faster. We have more spring from this position. Whereas if my feet were in here and someone were to come and push me, I would obviously fall over. I'm not on balance. I'm not in a good position to be agile on my feet. So we have that wide stance, we're on the balls of our feet, and we wanna get back from the line. What I recommend is about 4 feet from the line. This one time I was actually playing in a tournament and there was ice along the entire back here, about 4 feet from the fence, just straight ice. There was nothing you could do about it. The only solution was to literally stand up here on the line in anticipation to return. And the funny thing was, I hit some of the best returns that I had ever hit. Hitting's not a word, but that I had ever hit. And the reason that they were so good, I come to find out after, is because it really helps me to stay compact, not only with my motion, but with my legs as I was moving forward into the court. So some way to practice. I don't recommend actually doing it in a tournament, even though I did. I ended up winning that match and it was a singles game, but I don't recommend doing it in a tournament. I think it's a good way to practice is to start up here. It really helps you to keep everything nice and compact. But for the typical return, we're about 4 feet back from the baseline, leaning forward. That's gonna be pivotal. If we lean back or we're on our heels, we're gonna be not only slow reacting to the ball, but also it's gonna be harder for us to make contact moving forward. If we're not moving forward, our paddle face is going to be upwards, which means that we're gonna have a huge lollipop that we feed to our opponents on the return. Whereas when we move forward, it puts that paddle face vertical. And at the point of contact, we want our paddle face exactly vertical. If we can do that, it's gonna be a beautiful return. So we're here in this position. On the forehand side, we are stepping with our right leg first because we're hitting it on this side of our body. We step, all the weight is now on my right leg or my dominant leg if you're lefty, hit, and then I step with my non-dominant, finish with my dominant as I run into the court. So again, forehand side, I'm here in this position. Step out towards the ball with my dominant leg, hit, non-dominant, and then dominant again. Backhand side, the exact opposite. I notice it goes to my backhand, step with my left leg, my non-dominant leg, step with my right as I make contact, and then I finish into the court. So what that looks like live is, oh, notice it goes there, boom. Notice my second foot to step doesn't step until after contact. So on the backhand side, I step left, hit, step right, and then I'm running forward. It's that simple. It's just 2 steps and then you're running forward. If it's on the right side, step right, finish by stepping left, right after I make contact with the ball. If you're lefty, you've been dealing with this your whole life. You already know what I'm talking about. Just flip everything that I just said. Now, a lot of people will run around the return because people will actually hit it to their backhand, but they'll be like, no, I'm hitting a forehand. So the specific movement for that is gonna vary depending on who you are, but the correct movement is gonna be to still step with that outside leg as if you're hitting a backhand first, then we're going right leg turning and then opening to hit the backhand. It's gonna be much more difficult to move forward with that. So that's why I suggest practicing it both on the backhand and the forehand side. Whenever I play against opponents that just wanna hit forehand returns, I target their backhand so hard and it makes them late coming in every single time. So I don't recommend it that much. You can still do it. Someone like Jack Sock is gonna do that on every single one, but he can make up for it, and it's not only his athleticism, but how fast he is. He's still gonna be able to make it up to the kitchen line. But we're here, we still step with that non-dominant foot like we're hitting a backhand. First step, step out with the behind us with the dominant leg, and then step open here. And then hopefully move forward through contact. If you're not moving forward consistently every single time, it's gonna hurt you. And then practical tip number 3 is your point of contact. I want you to actually try to get your paddle a foot below the ball prior to contact. So if the ball is here, I want you to be a foot below it prior to doing that upward motion. So you've come out to the ball, you're way down here, and then come up from a foot below. You're gonna create so much spin on your return to bring it back down into the court. A lot of people start at the ball, and this is, I would argue, the vast majority of people that hit their returns into the net is because they're starting at the ball. If you start at the ball, it's not allowing you to get that upward motion to bring it up into the court. So if you have a really inconsistent return and it's going into the net, start a foot below as you push out, and then when you're coming up, you come up from that foot below with that windshield wiper. It's gonna make a world of difference for you. So that's the return in a nutshell. Wide open stance, really compact motion. We're up, pet the dog, outwards, upwards. We're doing that all while stepping and running into the court. Keep it compact and it's going to be absolutely perfect. Now let's talk about the specific strategies that we want to implement as the returning team. So a lot of people, when they play pickleball, they just return the ball because they were taught to return the ball. A lot of players know that we should be returning deep, possibly high, allowing us time to come up to the net. These are all strategies that come along with common sense, right? If we want more time to make it up to the net, we're gonna go a little bit higher. But sometimes we're playing against players who are driving the ball and they're getting us in trouble even when we're hitting it deep and high. So sometimes we need to change it up with maybe a low and a short one. And that's gonna come down to the specific players that you're playing against. Now, the specific strategies that we're gonna be talking about apply to every single match that you ever play. So let's start with strategy number one on the return, specifically on the doubles court. If I'm returning the ball and I'm running forward, my main goal should be to get that return in front of my partner. So I'm back here, I return, I'm moving forward. It doesn't make sense for me to hit that return up the line for two reasons. One, if I hit it up the line, it's a shorter distance. It's not gonna allow me much time to move forward. And two, since I'm not probably gonna be forward, my opponent is going to have an easier target here. He's closer to me than he is to my partner. And so he's gonna have a lot easier time getting it to my feet and keeping me back in an awkward position if he or she chooses to drive the ball. So instead, I wanna get that return the vast majority of the time in front of my partner who's over here. They're up on the net, they're established, they're in a really good position to counterattack the ball. And so because of that, if I put it in front of them, it gives me more time, since it's a further distance, to travel forward. And if they choose to hit it to me still, they're further away from me. So again, it gives me more time. So strategy number one with the return is get it in front of your partner. They're in a way better position to counterattack the ball than you are. Strategy number two is to hit your return up the middle of the court. There's an old time saying that comes, I think, from tennis. It could come from another sport, but down the middle solves the riddle. Whenever we hit the ball down the middle, it causes confusion with our opponents because obviously both players can equally hit that ball. So you'll get a lot of errors and a lot of pop-ups just by simply hitting your return up the middle, because on their third, these two are gonna be battling over hitting it, or they're gonna be like, you hit it, no, you hit it, and then it just passes them. The other plus to hitting down the middle is that it takes away angles. So here we are at the middle of the court. You just received a return up the middle. This is the angles that you can see of the court. You could hit the ball out wide, but not very far. You don't have a huge angle out wide. You can hit it out wide that way, but not very far. And you obviously have all the center of the court to hit to, which is great news for the returning team because you don't have very many angles. Now where you're at is the sideline of the court. If I were to return to this position, this would make you happy because you have this entire sideline to hit down, plus you can go cross court. You have a huge cross court drop angle. I mean, absolutely massive over here that you can go to. Throw your opponents off the court, open up the middle. You also have all the middle of the court. So way more angles to hit to when we hit towards the sidelines. It's the same exact thing on that sideline. Obviously, you can hit cross court a whole lot better, but your options open up a ton. So as the serving team that's gonna be hitting against the return, this is a return that I wanna see, right? Whereas if you hit it up the middle of the court right here, you're not gonna be as happy as the serving team because you don't have as many angles to hit to. Pretty much your only option is hit it at your opponents. And that brings us to strategy number three on the return, where we wanna be hitting it so that we can get up to the net effectively. And that is to your opponent's backhand. That's why I love middle so much, is because a lot of the time it's to one of the opponent's backhands as well as to one of the opponent's forehands. And so you're still kind of getting a little bit of that backhand action. Whereas when you're just merely hitting it to your opponent's backhand, which is typically out wide on the odd side of the court, you're giving your opponent a greater angle to hit to from that position. But I use this strategy all the time against players that run around their backhand to hit a forehand, that have bad backhands. It's a really good strategy to use and hone in your returns so that you can consistently hit them to the backhands of your opponents. If you can do this, you're going to just get a lot of errors right out of the gate, or make it so that your opponents are late moving forward because they're simply running around the ball to hit their forehand that they just know and love so much. So that is exactly how you hit the best return. This is going to be the most difficult return for any opponent that you go up against. Don't forget to go get your reps in. And if you want to continue improving your pickleball game, you can watch this video right here. In it, we'll discuss the 4 specific reasons that you're absolutely addicted to pickleball and how to use those reasons to your advantage out on the court. I'll see you over there.